How's it going? Good afternoon, evening, morning, whatever time it is where you're watching this. I'm Average Will, and welcome back to the channel. And today we are doing our first Saturday sit down, where it's just going to be kind of like a chatty little live stream where we sit here, hang out, have a special guest, chat with you guys in the chat, and chatting with the chat like always. And then kind of have a guest on, talk with them a little bit, see, get to know them a little bit better, and again, just kind of sit here and hang out and have a good time and enjoy each other's company, right? I wanted to do something that was going to be a little bit different than just the normal unboxings, or if I start getting into the reviews, it's going to be something a little bit different to give you guys something else to look forward to here on the channel. For those folks, almost 600 now, we're at 590, which is still insane that many people have subscribed to this channel. But it's really, I want to do this in a way to kind of give you guys a little bit more stuff here on the channel to look forward to, right? So today, if you guys saw the thumbnail and everything that I posted, we are going to have Adrian APM on, the man of 1,000 voices, who is super talented when it comes to doing the impressions, whatever you want to call them. He does all that great stuff. So won't you guys join me in welcoming the legend himself, Adrian APM. How's it going, buddy? Oh, look at that.
I'm ready. Everyone better like this show, all right?
He's going to snap on everybody. Nice, man. How you doing today, sir?
I'm tired, but I'm alive, and I'm grooving, and I'm moving, man.
That's good to know. That's good. Yeah, so again, I want to say thank you for joining me on my first Saturday sit down. Thank you for being willing to come on here and subject yourself to me.
Of course. It's you, Willie. Come on. I couldn't say no.
I appreciate it. So in the chat, we've got Michael P. always in here early with the 106 minutes in T-minus. We've got Lacrucis in there. Those are great supporters of the channel, have been around for a long time. We've got Puff TV saying, hey, all. Got slotted up Jason. He's a great channel. If you guys haven't seen him, go check him out as well. Saying, hey, heck yeah, two of the greats together. I don't know, one great, he's great. I'm average. I'm just average. We've got Mike Afternoon, Paul Dunn. How's it going, sir? So thank you for sick background. Thanks, buddy. Wanted to get in, just kind of do like a little chat with you, Adrian, and just kind of whoever watches this, either if they're watching it live or if you guys watch it on a rerun, you guys get to know Adrian a little bit better and who he is, the man here on YouTube. So I wanted to start off, Adrian, you've before like the whole pandemic thing, you were heavy convention based, correct?
Yes.
All right. So what exactly at the conventions did you do?
I sold comic books. I would go and I would set up a few tables and long boxes galore. And I mean, I'd have some pops and stuff too, of course. But yeah, mainly I would just sell tons and tons of comic books. And
That's cool.
Definitely comic books were the main thing, that I did, and I loved it,
Yeah, which, I mean, again, and obviously with this pandemic thing, that it really sucks not being able to do that. And for someone who's gotten into the whole collecting thing, that's one thing I can't wait to experience, is being able to, one, see all the crazy stuff that's at the conventions, and two, be able to meet some awesome people in person instead of here online.
Yeah, that's a huge part of it, man. It's when you go there, you're setting up early, and you're like you get the first peek at every table. So nice. I mean, technically, you can get all the good stuff if you wanted to. But it's great because the first thing I do is I say, hey, I'd walk around like, hey, if my stuff doesn't sell, I'll make you a deal at the end, or if you want to get rid of that, I'll give you all these boxes. It was always that's cool. That fun, and people they're so great there. So at any convention, really. So
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we went, and I'm talking years ago when it was the first Tampa Bay Comic Con we had here, and I had no idea what the hell I was doing there. Like my wife and I and our daughter went, and it was cool. Like we went because I think there was it was Maggie from The Walking Dead was doing it. She was speaking there in one of the town halls and stuff. And looking back now, it's like, all right, so I'm here now if I could go back and if I was in this same spot, it would be a completely different experience for me to actually go to the booths, seeing all the comic book stuff and seeing all that now. And I'm like, man, if only 6 years ago I would have been more into this stuff.
And the prices would have been a lot cheaper.
Oh yeah, and that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you too, because the boom we've had lately, and I know it just because like how big I am into the Something's Killing the Children, which it seems like that series is untouchable. Like if you want to buy one of the older books, you better have some deep pockets because everything's skyrocketing right now.
Yep.
Is this something? Has this anything like this ever happened before? Like in terms of because of something spiking with a TV show, movies in the past, or is this something recent?
No, I feel like the whole thing with every little news article or every little this person might be in this person might be playing. It is a fairly new concept. Like in the past, it didn't always spike books up. It just didn't. Like I mean, maybe sometimes, but it was never this much of a. You see this, book going up, from being $1 book to $200. It didn't happen like that. Like it was like, oh, maybe at most it might be worth 10 but no, it's definitely a whole new age because especially because of YouTube and all the different platforms and people like talking about it. It's just, and especially if they're based in comics or something to do with comics, it's like the biggest thing. And some books now are never going to be obtainable for people, which is sad because if somebody wants that number one, it's going to be so hard for them to get it now. So
yeah, that's like with and I'm going to reference Something's Killing Children a lot here because that is my favorite line to collect. And I think it's the issue number 3 second print. It's selling the raw copy like $400 right now, and I think one of the variants of it just hit $2,500 at a 9.8, and it just when I saw that number, Ross Ritchie actually shared it. It was from Sanctum Sanctorium's website, and I'm just like, holy hell! I've got my Grails that I want to get, and I've got my list that I want to get of those, and now it's like it feels like these books are sliding onto the Grail list.
Yeah, and which can blow your mind, the fact that like a Daredevil 1 is saying great, it's worth less than a book that's not like maybe a year old. Mind-boggling.
Exactly. Well, I mean that's like the whole spec game is crazy because like what is it? The Mephisto, that book is skyrocketing, and it's on the guy could possibly be in WandaVision, and it's not been confirmed or anything like that, or at least I haven't seen anything confirmed, and that seems like that's now the hot book, his first appearance.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we're going to see him in WandaVision, to be honest with you. But again, I could be wrong. So I think you're talking about what is it, Silver Surfer number 3, right?
I think so. I think that's the one that it is.
Yeah.
So, is there like a specific book that if you see it, you have to buy it? Like it's one that you always have to buy if you see it?
Yeah, there's a few. It happens to me with Spidey a lot. Like, I'm like, oh, I know I got that, but I should probably get it. It's such a silly thing, like that, Spidey or Batman or Deadpool. It's just like I just gravitate towards like, oh, do I really need another one? And yes, even before the Deadpool card was popular, if I saw an X-Force in the box, I would grab it. Why? I don't know.
All right, well that's cool. Yeah, because that's something I'm always interested in because I'll see like I'm a big Thor fan, and that's. If I see like the older Thors, I'm grabbing them because I'm trying to. I feel like it'll be a run that I will be collecting until I'm about to be in the grave because there's so many of them and they're expensive. Like the older ones obviously are expensive, but that's like when I got your mystery box, I was just like, oh my god, this is great because this is a lot. There were books that I wanted to get into my collection, and then the slab was awesome because again it's an older, especially it's a journey into the mystery, and it's like. Those are books I want, so it was awesome to get that. So that's cool.
You love it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's one thing. And now when now you're doing like you're not doing like your actual runs. You're building boxes for people. Do you have advice for anyone that is thinking about doing a mystery box, a comic book? I'll say comic book mystery box.
Well, I'll just say right off the bat, don't skimp out. Like, my theory behind that is if you already have a collection and you're just basically saying, okay, I have too much of this, or this is not really what I really collect, I'm going to move it. And you're selling a box, don't, say you're selling it for 150 bucks, don't give the person $100 worth. Like, unless you're like, hey, you might only get 100, then that's okay. Cause if somebody wants to buy it still, they can. But, be more generous, especially if you're just like a, person to person, on Instagram, you're selling boxes, and from a company, yeah, you might not get the exact totals, but that risk already with a big company. So if you're making your own box, just, put what you would want in that box. Like, what would you want to get? What would make you go, oh my God, this is really cool. Like, and yes, you can say they bought it for 150 and you gave them exactly 150. I don't think they're going to complain about that, so.
No, that's great. Thank you for that. I mean, because again, it's like you see different stuff, and I've been one. I have not done a comic book mystery box. I did a Funko Pop one just to I had a bunch of pops I didn't fit in my collection, and they were mid-range pops, and I was like, oh, let me do this, and here's the price point. We're gonna have fun. I'm gonna throw a few little extras in there, and there's going to be a GP, or a little additional incentive. Everyone will go on a wheel and whatnot. And I think that's one thing I've noticed with buying mystery boxes from collectors like yourself and others, that you guys are collectors and you guys take pride in the stuff. And again, how you said, when you're buying from the bigger companies, you should know what's to expect with those.
Exactly.
So I think that's really good advice for anyone that's out there who's thinking about maybe starting their own mystery box run and something like that. So I appreciate that. So we've got, let's see here, Department of Truth will be the next Something is Killing the Children. Well, yeah, I mean, seeing as it's now optioned, it's already been optioned. It's actually got optioned first. Who knows what's going to happen with it and who they start casting for that show. So is there who aside from obviously Spider-Man and I think Deadpool, because obviously we see that in your intro and everything, who are other characters? You can give me 3. You don't have to give me a whole full big list, but who are 3 other characters that you really enjoy their stories and them as characters?
Sure. Definitely Batman. I mean, that's always been one. I enjoy Spider-Gwen. And stuff with Miles too. But then I also really like just random kind of indie books. I mean, I guess that really doesn't answer because you're asking for specific characters, but I don't know. It's definitely, I'd say just to be more specific, like Batman, Spider-Gwen. I could say Miles Morales. Well, I could jump all over the place, but
since you were talking indies, what are some indie titles you like? You would recommend to someone who is into indies that these are must reads?
I mean, everybody already knows Something's Killing the Children. I don't have to say that.
Right.
Firepower. I really enjoy that one because it just reminds me of like just a different style Iron Fist, in a way almost like.
Yeah.
But it's from Kirkman, so it's kind of cool. What else? Bliss. That's a kind of a fun read. Blackheart. That's a newer one. I'm enjoying that. It's kind of like a noir almost feel to it, like it's very detective. And the art in the book so far have been like crazy cool and good. So.
All right, that's cool. That's definitely. I'm always interested as someone who, it's funny because my shop tells me that I'm I'm the largest. My box is about 85-90% indie.
Sure.
And he says he's ordering books specifically only for my box because I'm the only one because the majority of them are DC, Marvel heavy, which is not not a problem. But for me, I guess it's because I like I don't want to say the free reign that the creators have with the characters, where they don't feel like they have to be boxed in by they're writing for a specific superhero. Right. So there's a specific, hey, this hero's here. And I think that's what I've liked about Cates with what he's done with both Thor and Venom is he's kind of, yes, here's the character, but he's kind of said, yeah, let me take that and I'm going to spin it and run it with it the way I ran with it.
Right. That's what makes it exciting that now he's going to be jumping on Spawn. So, I mean, it's just like, whoa, what's going to happen?
Right. So, yeah, and that was huge news too whenever McFarlane came out and he said that we're going to have a Spawn universe and there's going to be the Gunslinger Spawn's going to have his own series, right? And then
Year of the Spawn.
Is that what it? Yeah. So
Yeah.
and then to see other creators being able to get their hands on Spawn and kind of bring their take on it is going to be fun.
Yeah.
How's it going, Mr. TechBot? How's it going, Warlord? So, two of your favorite comic channels. Oh man, I'm considered a comic channel. That's great.
So too sweet, too sweet.
All right, so yeah, so you've had the awesome opportunity to meet some pretty cool people. Kevin Smith, you've talked about how you got to meet him before, and you were on the show, the Comic Book Men show. Yeah. Have you ever met someone or ran into someone where you felt starstruck, like you were fanboying heavily or anything like that?
It doesn't pertain to the comic world, but usually for me, I can meet anyone of any fame. Like I remember the first time I got starstruck was I actually met like a local hip hop artist out of Milwaukee, and I just loved his music so much. When I met him, I was like, dude, man, I know your tracks, and I was just getting all like, his name was Kid Millions, like,
oh, okay,
and he was just like the funnest thing. And then a while back, I met Bishop Briggs because we had been talking before she hit it big. She has that song "Like a River."
Yeah.
And then so I was tweeting with her before she got like big, and then finally got to meet her, and I was like, oh my God, and she's like, anti-famous? I'm like, it's anti, because that's my Twitter handle. So it was just the funniest thing in the world, but
cool.
No, and like, there are certain people that I guess it's weird. I just have this switch that I'm just like, they'd rather see you. I mean, it's okay to get a little geeked out because if you're meeting someone that's like you look up to, you're like, oh, I love your comics, oh, I love your films, or whatever it is, It's okay to geek out, but I just don't, because maybe in the back of my head I'm thinking, well, if I don't geek out, I got more of a chance of, maybe working with or doing something, So
yeah, I think that's how it would be. We were gonna go. Was it last year? I think it was last year or the year before. Norman Reedus was supposed to be here at Tampa Bay Comic Con.
Oh, sure.
And me and my wife wanted to go we were going to pay the money to do the thing. And I even told her, I'm like, hey, don't be weird about it. Because he's just a normal guy and everything. Because I think of that. I'm like, man, it's so cool to be able to meet these guys. Because I got, as growing up in the Tampa area, I've had an opportunity. My dad was actually, he was friends with some of the wrestlers. So I kind of it was awesome to meet some of these guys and then see them. And then when my daughter was born, we would go to the wrestling things and be like, man, I swam in that guy's swimming pool and stuff like that. And kind of like a weird flex. And my daughter, as she's gotten older, she's like, Dad, don't tell me these stories anymore. We don't need to hear them. So it's like, well, listen, I can get, I fanboy about them. Like I remember sitting watching WrestleMania one year and watching Hogan in it and everything. And it's like, it's cool. It's cool. So I like to hear other people's experiences of being, especially with you being on the show, which that's cool in itself to be on that show. So, and then, because I remember when you had posted it and you were talking about it and it was in your trailer, I was like, oh my God, I watch that show all the time. And I'm like, and this dude's sitting here making YouTube videos. I'm like, oh, that's freaking awesome. I'm like, that's cool as hell.
I've had a lot of people that like still to this day, they go, wait a minute. And they're just seeing, like, and they're like, it's just clicking now. They're like, wait, you were on that? It's like, yeah, it's part of my little intro. They're just like, oh, how did I not? I'm like, because the hat was off and I have blonde hair. I don't know.
That was what it was for me because I didn't realize it. And then when I saw the trailer, your intro, and I was like, no. So I had to go back and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, that is him. I'm like, oh, this is freaking cool as hell. Oh man. So I wanted to also ask about you do the voices, the impersonations. Is that something that you've always you've worked on all the time? Like you can do just because you do some that are unbelievably spot on.
Yeah, I know they're not all great. I get it.
No, I mean they're all great. They're all good, but some of them are like, holy hell! You close your eyes and you think it's them. You do some unbelievable ones.
Obviously, I think for anyone that does it, there are probably certain impressions that just work well with your voice. So like it's an easy thing to do. And then there's some that are so far the range where yes, you sound almost exactly like them, but it's still just not quite there. And I practice when I can. I mean, sometimes it's just random. Like I'll watch a video and I'll be like, oh, let me try to do that. Let me try to do that voice and see what I can do here. And you know, like sometimes I do like the most random, and sometimes like I can be really good at it, like just starting about like for a while. I remember one time I started to learn how to do Peyton Manning.
Oh, okay. Well, I would love to
Just
see
because
that.
he had that hilarious the SNL skit,
You're
and so I
right.
was trying
Yeah.
to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to learn some of the, and I had it down. Like I was like, wow, I like even I was like, I sound just like him. But now I haven't done it forever, so I wouldn't be able to do it for the life of me. But it's all about like sometimes it is about being consistent with it. So
Yeah, I would have to say when you did Joker, you sounded like the cartoon Mark Hamill, and then I know you had actually reached out to him and he commented on it,
yeah,
which that was cool in itself. Which ones do you like to do the most? Like, which one are your favorite ones to do?
like favorite impression.
Yeah, your favorite ones to do. Yeah.
I love doing Christopher Walken. Like honestly, man, that will all, and I don't care. But the cool thing about Christopher Walken is that there's so many different impressions of him. Like
Mhm.
everyone does a different impression of him. Like, and everyone actually in their own way sounds like him. You know what I mean? Like everyone just kind of has like, oh, that sounds more like younger Christopher Walken, or that sounds kind of like more like, you know, the now the fans stay, you know, scooch closer, come on, down, you're afraid. You know, like, you know, just everybody has their own little way they do it, you know. So
Yeah, it's his cadence too. It's like the cadence that he has as he talks, and it is that's he's one of the ones that I he's one of my favorite actors. Anyways, just
yeah, he's
loving
awesome.
seeing him all the different ones. But yeah, so that's cool. So it's is that when you decided to make how how did you come to the fact that you're like, hey, you know what, I'm going to do box openings, but everyone does box openings. I want to have that special niche. How did you settle on doing the impressions?
I think I did a video that was like my first video, and I don't remember if I did a voice or not. And I scrapped the video, and I was like, oh, that's just I to myself. I was like, eh. And then I just like, oh, I'm gonna do Christopher Walken opening this, you know. And
Yeah.
also, and I'm like, wait. Then from there, I was like, yeah, this is what needs to be done. Like, I mean, I haven't been doing as many, obviously, but
Right.
lately, but I'll do some. Don't worry. um,
Nice.
but and I was like, oh yeah, it just I wanted to really give like the unboxing like my own just touch, man. You know, just so it could be like, okay, even if I think this unboxing is terrible and boring, at least I'm getting this. Like, you know, everybody has their little thing that somebody watches. Like, well, I watch him because it's not because what he unboxes, but I like how he does this, or I like
Right.
the way he talks. You know, like everybody has their own thing, and that's what it's about. It's like I watch you, you know, like me, like I watch you. When I watch you, you're just like, all right, you're excited, like, yeah, well, let's do it, man. Like, like, and
Yeah.
I love that. Like, there's this. Some people I just love that pure excitement and enthusiasm. Like, you know, even going back to like when I, you know, was watching when you're. I remember your other video, like when you got Krusty the Clown and how like stoked you were. I still remember that because like it's cool to see that excitement, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm very excitable. And then like my wife, that's like when we were doing the box battles, me and my wife, and what was it? I got the Deadpool, the glow in the dark Deadpool, and I
oh
told her,
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
oh no,
yeah.
you open your box now, because I mean we're not gonna do mine. I know I gave it away, but it's just like I don't want to pull that out first and be like, hey, guess what? I got the GP. It doesn't matter what she has in her box.
Right, right.
So yeah, I mean it's like and then I think I won the very first time I beat her. I beat her like by $1, but it didn't matter. I was happy to beat her.
Right.
No, that's cool. Like, and that's the thing is like when it comes to these unboxings, and it is, I find myself doing the same thing. Like I'll watch a majority of people. Like how I'll do it. I'll set up a playlist in the mornings because with having the premium, I can put my phone in my pocket and just listen to it through my earbuds, and I'll run through that playlist. And
Oh,
I may
sure.
not necessarily watch the videos of them but I can hear
Yeah,
them.
but you are. I mean, you're listening. It's the same
Right,
thing. I mean,
right. So
you know,
I will have the group of people I will sit there and I'll listen to that are fun, and because you get that excitement, or you get the impressions and everything like that. And you know, I like that because it's tough, because what do you do when you're doing an unboxing? It's like you put the graphics up where explosions. You know, I've even messed with putting the prices up on the top just to show the value. So because some people are interested in that, and
yeah.
it's harder with comics because like with Funko Pops, you can punch into the Funko app and be like, all right, well this one, boom, boom, here it is. Oh, this one's $18. Whereas like the
Right.
comics, it's tougher. So that was kind of like I played around with that with the last couple of videos I did, starting with the triple threat videos I pulled up. How's it going, Joe M? How's it going, Gary B? Thank you guys for coming by this evening. So now a couple more things I wanted to ask. Now I forgot. Aside from comics, are there anything else that do you collect anything else, or is it primarily comics for you?
It's primarily comics. I mean, I got, obviously, I got Funkos too,
Yeah.
Not like an insane amount. I mean, I've got some on the shelf behind me that no one can ever really see, but
yeah.
And it's there's like a Deadpool shelf. There's what I call my Spider-Verse shelf, which is like every known Spider-Man there's Gwen. I mean, everybody, the Spider-Pig, everybody. Then I got like my Batman and the Batman villains. And so it's definitely a certain ones. And then I collect like certain movie ones too, Like I'm working on a John Wick shelf right now. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So yeah, but otherwise other collectibles, I got a couple statues, but otherwise, yeah, I really don't. Yeah, no, I'm looking around here. I'm like, I collect some old books, some really old from like the 1800s, but that's about it. So
that's cool. So currently, right now, do you have an active pull box? And if so, what's on your active pull box?
Usually, like unfortunately, I was getting the future state stuff, which was not quite the best in the world.
Right.
But we got the Permanent Truth. Haha's on there now. What else, man? Sorry, people. I'm really tired.
It's all right. It's all right.
It's not him, guys. It's not him. It's not him. Yeah, I mean, the funny thing about me and my pull list too is like I constantly change it. Like all of a sudden I'll be like, I'm only gonna get 3 books this week, but then I go in and I pick up 25.
Right.
Like I do this weird thing where because I used to through all the years I didn't have a pull list.
Right.
For some reason, I don't know, don't ask why, but I just went in. And then it was like, well, you get a discount. I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's like I like the feeling of just being like, well, if it's there, it's there. If it's not, that's my fault. So it's pretty random, man. It's pretty random.
Oh, okay, well that's good. That's good to know. Yeah, that's one thing is like when I first stumbled into my shop, there was one shop that was within 5 minutes, but that guy, because of the pandemic, was doing appointments only, and I'm like, well, I don't know, I randomly want to go in, so I'm like, So I started looking around my area for a comics shop, and I found one that's about 25 minutes away, and I went down there, and I loved it because of everything, and I started looking around, I'm like, ooh, this looks interesting, and being really new, and we're talking about this was April of last year, I was new to comics. I was like, I just knew the characters from the movies and stuff like that. But then, I started talking to the shop owner, and I'm like, he's like, well, what do you like? And I'm like, well, I like post-apocalyptic stuff. I like dark horror stuff and whatnot. So he kind of guided me in a direction, and then Google became my best friend, like going through like the comic previews and that, looking through like what different series were out and whatnot, and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll tell you, it's to have that pull box. It's been a lot of fun to add different stuff, and I'm always shooting an email to my shop and be like, hey, I see that these number ones are all coming out. Put this on my list. And
yeah. We now I don't know if you have it, but now with my shop in town, we got they have Comic Hub.
Oh no, I'll have to look into that and tell them about that.
It's so you go on there, you're like, and it automatically goes to your what.
Yeah. And
so that way, if you don't want something. Yeah, Comic Hub. That way, if you don't want something, you can be like, nah, take it off your list.
I'm going to have to bring that up to him because I'm hoping in the future, I've been talking to him about doing some stuff at his shop because, again, I like his shop and everything. And for where it's at, it's inside of a mall, and the mall is like dying. But like his shop is one of the only things in the mall that literally it's like there's a Dillard's. The Dillard's has a section themselves off from the rest of the mall. It's like they've annexed themselves, and they're like, nope. If you want to come to Dillard, you're only going to come through our front door, and the mall's dying. In the area it is. It's in a dying area for shops and everything.
Oh, sure.
Partially because of COVID, but
right.
Everybody shops online anyways now. Amazon's made it so easy for people, so convenient, and everything. So Um, there was some. Was there anything else? I think we pretty much covered across what what I wanted to ask you about today, and I do appreciate you coming on and everything, and
Oh yeah, of course.
Giving your time here on Saturday to come hang out, and everyone who's in the chat and everything hanging out. Thank you guys. Adrian, before we go, is there anything you have lined up, set up to come out soon?
Yeah, tomorrow I'll be dropping the collectibles swap 4 video. I think it's number 4. Yeah.
Yep. CS4.
Yep. And then I have a couple other videos I'm working on. I actually filmed one. It's sitting on my phone. I really got to put it on. So. Yeah, and I'm working on some more skits too now. Because a lot of people seem to like that last one. So,
oh yeah, the progression of that was a fun video to watch,
and that's going back to my roots. I've done a lot of writing for videos and for people and for companies and stuff. So, because I do a lot of marketing. So, I was just like, yeah, I should really make stuff that like I know I can write and make some I'd be great. I would love to write for SNL if they wanted me. But yeah, so I'm hoping to do some more videos like that. I'll do some more unboxings with impressions. I'm just always trying to think of sometimes like there's been a lot of videos where I've done, and if I don't think it's just right, I scrap it, which for some people might suck because like, oh, I just want to just video, but me, I'm just like, nah, it has to at least be 80%, So yeah,
right.
definitely stuff going to pop up. A couple more interviews that we'll come up with, by springtime. So,
and that was like with when you did the interview with Jim Mint, that was pretty cool. I like that one. And then the skit you did for Spidey Tumblers, which was great. The Spidey Powder Tumblers, that actually got me to where I started following him and everything, just because it was awesome. If you want something cold, you have it cold and stuff like that. That was great. So that'll be cool. It'll be cool to see what you bring out because, again, I've said it before. I don't see how you haven't gotten even more subscribers and more love on here. I know you're
they just don't like me.
I don't see how that's possible. You're a great guy, man. Have you hit 800 yet, or are you still shy of 800?
I think I'm shy of 800. But I figure I'll get there. It'll happen. I think maybe.
People just need to be exposed to you a little bit more because again,
exactly. And I also need to put out more videos. Like I should at least try to throw out a video a week just to keep it. Fresh.
Yeah. I mean, that would help, but still, I mean, the fact that God, you are very. I'll say this: you're very talented in the fact that you do the different voices and then putting the skits together. Because again, the progression of a unboxer was great, just because you see so much across YouTube, the people. And I tried. That was one of the things. Like I screamed inside. I'm like, oh my God, did I have to go watch my old videos? I'm like, did I do this? I'm like, shit. I'm like, because again, you think you're like, oh, you're getting into it. You're like, oh yeah, I know. I'm a master at this now. I've only been doing it for 2 months. But.
Right. Looking at corners, like, well, actually, here.
Yeah, exactly. But again, I appreciate you coming on here, man. And
thank you for all the praise, man. I do appreciate that.
Hey, listen, I won't just blow smoke. It definitely is very warranted because again, you are a great guy here on in the community. You've been very approachable. Like whenever I first asked you to do a mystery box for me back when I saw Alex open one, you were quick on it and you were super generous with putting it together and whatnot. And then just again, anytime I've ever had to talk, we've ever had to interact, you've always been, a class person. And just seeing you here between all the other channels and whatnot, you're not trying to blow smoke, but you're definitely a good one in the community.
I appreciate it, man. I really do. I do.
All right, chat. I appreciate you guys for hanging around. We are going to call it. So thank you guys for hanging out and joining me for my first Saturday sit down. Thank you, Adrian, for hanging out. And if you are not subscribed to Adrian, go ahead and give his channel a check out. You guys should be. If you're subbed to me, you should be subbed to him. And my dog's over here causing mayhem, my big old brute. But yeah, like always, guys, tell somebody you love them. Check in on your family and friends, see how they're doing. And again, do one random act of kindness for somebody. It could be something simple like opening up a door, letting them out in front of you in traffic, or cutting you in line at the grocery store. those little random acts of kindness could change how someone's feeling, how their day's going, and just how their time's going. And again, like with checking in on family and loved ones, it's tough times right now with what's going on in the world. So definitely just reach out and just say hi, because again, that person could be struggling. So thank you guys so much. Till next time, I'm out.